Listening is one of the important skills to complete the process of communication effectively and efficiently. Listening is to obtain information, to understand information, to learn information, and to enjoy information. Listening is a complex process, and at the same time, it is a simple process. It is desirable to take care of barriers which come in between listening that may obstruct the smooth flow of communication. Effective listening majorly or ask questions or respond.
Listen patiently.
Understanding speaker's feeling.
Restatement and summary.
For discussion.
Common glitches.
Avoid expressing
Rapport.
views.
Importance of listening. First of all, it reduces conflicts.
People end up assuming things and misunderstand each other if they do not share their side or listen to others actively.
It builds empathy.
Empathy is essential to effective listening. Empathy towards the speaker takes concentration, allowing open communication and establishing relationships.
Limits judgments.
Listening limits the judgment. You listen to the speaker with an open mind because they are giving their perspective.
It improves business relations.
Good listening skills give success to both individuals and businesses by enhancing relations within the group and amongst the co-workers.
I think it's a very helpful.
Active listening helps to connect with the team's ideas, grab various
providing feedback to the speaker. Feedback is to send signals to the speaker to let him know that you are actively listening or not.
What is the process of listening? It majorly consists of 5 steps. Step 1, receiving information. Receiving information is nothing but consciously and attentively hearing. It refers to the sound or the symbols or the verbal or non-verbal communication from sender. Step 2, understanding information received. Understanding the symbols or the verbal or non-verbal we have seen or to heard, which we end up analyzing the meaning of the symbols which we receive or perceive. Step 3, remembering the received information and understood information. Remembering it is an important listening process because it means that an individual has not only received the information and interpreted a message, but also added it into its mind storage bank. Step 4, evaluating the information received. It is a stage in which active listeners participate and it weighs evidence to form a fact of opinion and determines the presence or absence of bias or prejudice in a message. And finally, as said earlier, feedback.
Types of listening. Types of listening. Pseudo listening, appreciative listening, empathetic listening, therapeutic listening, and critical listening. So in pseudo listening, it is a type of non-listening. Non-listening that consists of appearing attentive and conversation, while actually you are ignoring the speaker. It is the intent of the pseudo listener is to not to listen, just you want to act like thing. Many of the listeners right now they switch on the audio when they may not listen to the content actually. That kind of listeners were pseudo listeners. and the people who are intent to ask some questions, so they are most likely empathetic listening. They are intending, their view is like empathetic listening, so appreciative listening. So some persons may kind like he's going to perform well, they have some intention that they want certain goal to exhibit there, so they are listening such things with an appreciative listening. So therapeutic listening, there are many old people who have some fault in their listening with a sound based therapy, that is called therapy listening. And critical listening, it is a process of understanding what is said and evaluating, judging, and forming an opinion on what one hears. The listener accesses the strengths and weaknesses of the content, agrees or disagrees with the information.
Barriers in listening. First of all, physical barriers, noise, physical discomfort, physical distraction.
Psychological barriers, emotional disturbances, age and attitude, mindset, anxiety, and fear.
Linguistic barriers, improper message decoding, ambiguous language, and jargon or slang.
Cultural barriers, culture difference, different values, and different social norms. Barriers to effective listening, judgment of the listener on the topic.
Getting distracted by the external environment.
Interrupting the discussion by either of the parties.
Making assumptions
Making
or
a-
reading mindset of the speaker.
Blindly agreeing to the speaker just to quiet the conversation.
Attitude, belief, or experience of either the speaker or the listener.
Comparison and evaluation of what the other person is saying to what you know.
Language barriers.
Environmental barriers like noise or climatic conditions.
Technical issues, if the listener and speaker are communicating through calls or any virtual mode of the communication.
It is very vital to remove the barriers in listening in order to enable effective communication among the listeners and the speakers. Here are the few steps to eliminate some barriers to listening. Maintain eye contact with the speaker. Exhibit verbal and non-verbal affirmations such as hand gestures or speaking while the speaker is conveying the message. Observe the non-verbal cues given by the speaker. Avoid distracting activities such as watching TV or using mobile phone while the speaker is conveying his text. Avoid interrupting the speaker before he completes his discussion. Put the speaker at the ease by your attitude and body language and enable him to speak more effectively. Don't judge the speaker with the premature arguments which disturbs him from conveying the message. Respect the pauses or silences of the speaker. Both the speaker and the listener must be honest and loyal to each other and show interest in listening through asking the questions to the speaker. And as seen in the diagram, grant attention towards the speaker, withhold the judgment, and reflect your views on the points given by the speaker. Take the topic through asking questions and summarize yourself what the speaker has conveyed and share the message if necessary to the other people so that it is helpful to the other people also.
Finally, I conclude with the listening is the most important skill to complete the process of communication. We should take care of the barriers that may obstruct the smooth flow of communication. As we explained earlier, the barriers and how to overcome that. And we also, meanwhile, follow certain principles to make sure listening is more effective and efficient in terms which makes communication effective and complete. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time. That's all from us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, can I get one answer from your side in English? So what are the problems you are identifying regarding listening skills when you follow these kind of tools like Zoom or Google Meet?
In a video, ekkada chuskoవాలి.
We actually don't know whether the other party is interested in listening or not.
That is
In case of-
biggest problem.
Yes, sir, we can't identify the pseudo listeners here. some may they just like to they just switch on the video and they may not listen to the properly, and we can't know that feedback whether they are actually listening or understanding the concept.
We may get a lot of pseudo discussion in this
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. And one more major thing is, as this is some may face technical glitches which they end up not listening. So both sides not.
There is no
Yeah.
eye contact also, sir.
Yeah, you are not switching on your videos and we cannot see whether you are actually listening or not listening. This kind of things can happen.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Let us go for team B. That is Chetri, Premanvi, Nikita, Jia, Dasmi, and Alexa. So team B, please keep your videos on.
Yeah, good morning, sir. And before starting the PPT, I want to thank each and every person who are attending here. You might be having many appointments today. It's a Sunday, and you might be sacrificing each and everything and like that. So today we are in front of you with the topic called media modes of communication. Manvi, are you ready? Hello.
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen.
Thank you, Manvi, for coordination for things. Good morning, sir, and good morning, my all the future corporate leaders. Today, first of all, before starting getting into the presentation, I want to thank the total whole academic committee members for coordinating for seminars and online communications and everything. Now, let us get into the topic. Our topic is media and communication. So now let's come in generally. What media is nothing but a platform, but sender to the receiver, just communicating a message, news, anything from a sender to the receiver. So now we are all there. We are in a meeting. Now I'm just sending some message to you. I'm just telling some message to you. So we are getting you are a receiver. This is a platform. So Zoom is the one platform for us. So now getting to the topic. So media is the means or ways of transmitting the message from senders to the receiver, and media of oral communication or face-to-face communication, mobile conference meetings, the media of written communication or newspaper, letter, report, and memo mail, etc. So now here I want to differentiate the 2-3 things here. Before 1997, we don't have like online communication much more. We all be having all the radios. I have seen my childhood when I'm a 3 years or 4 years kid. Radio. Now the radio zamana ho gaya. Newspapers, now we are taking the newspaper in the online itself. Now everything is in online. So we have some modes of transport. We might be seeing people in our childhood, radio, telephone, this type of landline telephone. Now we are all having a smartphones, and newspapers now we are having, but very low when we compare to before 5 years or before 10 years. We don't have such hard copies of newspaper much. Everything is now become online. So this is all the types of media and communication which we are using in the past and now coming to the present. Manvi, go for next slide now. Hello. Yeah. So coming to communication of media, we have 2 types: analog communication and digital. Coming to analog, as I mentioned, radio is a one type of analog. VCD, landline telephones, television transforms. Now we are coming television. It will be like LED, LCDs are there. Now before that, we have a box portable TVs. We do have like that. Now coming to digital, second time digital. Now we are in the century of digital communication. Everything is becoming online. Now we are in online Zoom meetings, WebEx, computer networking, smartphones, computer mediated communication, email, website, video, WhatsApp, everything is digital. So now we are in the world of digital communication. here, Manik, can you please continue?
Only your voice is not visible.
Communication media. Communication media is divided into two types. One is verbal communication and one is non-verbal communication. And oral and written communication comes under verbal communication. And oral is divided into speaking and listening. Written is divided into writing and reading. And in non-verbal communication, we have these types of facial expressions, gestures, body language, proximity, touch, personal appearance, and silence. And these verbal and non-verbal communications will be briefly explained by my friend Nikita. Thank you.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. Coming to verbal communication, the communication in which we use words and language to communicate the intended message to other people is called verbal communication. Verbal communication includes speaking, listening, writing, and reading. Verbal communication can be performed in two ways: oral and written communication. First one, oral communication. Oral communication is a communication through spoken words, that is, facial expressions, voice chat, video conferencing, or communication through mobile phones and telephones. Coming to written communication, it entails the use of letters, mails, documents, social media platform, etc. to interact with people. Next slide. Non-verbal communication is a wordless communication. It doesn't use any words or language. The communication takes place through signals such as facial expressions, gestures, postures, body language, eye contact, physical appearance, and so on. Next will be continued by Alekia. Good morning, sir. My name is Alekia. I'm going to explain about the choice of medium in communication. First, what are communication medium? A medium is a communication, it's a system or a channel through which a speaker or writer addresses to their audience. It's an outlet that a sender uses to express meaning to their audience, and it can include written, verbal, non-verbal elements. Communication medium can either be virtual or physical. Well, choosing the right medium will make it break your message. For example, if you want to make a major press announcement and you gather all the journalists in a small and dusty press room, your message will not be resonate. It will not feel major because the format is equally important as the message. Well, according to your goal and your target, which you have already defined, you need to choose the most appropriate medium. This means the medium that will allow you to communicate fluently, but also capitalize on your work with the possibility of use. Cost is an important factor to consider when choosing your medium. And the medium of communication is selected keeping in view the following considerations: type of audience, need for secrecy, need for accuracy, need for reliability, speed or time considerations, availability of medium, requirement of the situation. And next slide will be explained by Zia. Yeah. Hello.
Modes of communication. Yeah. Modes of communication means interpersonal communication involving conversational speaking and listening or signed exchanges, interpretation reading, listening or viewing, and presentational communication shown by creating messages for a reader. Actually, modes of communication means a manner of communication that is free of cost to the user. There are types of modes of communication and those will be explained by Zia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yadasnim, and now I'm going to speak about types of modes of communication. And they include interpersonal communication, interpretive communication, and presentational communication. When it comes to interpretive communication, it is also referred to as the one-way communication. In this mode, the information conveyed by the sender is interpreted by the receiver in its original form. The target has to understand the message in both written and spoken form, keeping various aspects in mind. For example, in a class, the learners may are expected to understand the main curves of the topic. When it comes to interpersonal communication, it is the process by which people exchange information, verbal and non-verbal messages. It is an unmediated mode of communication that occurs when we interact and attempt to mutually influence each other simultaneously in order to manage relationships. Although interpersonal communication encompass oral, written, and non-verbal forms of communication. And interpersonal generally include personal interview, phonic conversations, interactive sessions, debates, email, text message. When it comes to communication, presentation is another type of one-way communication. Facilitates interpretation by members of the group with no direct opportunity for the active negatives of members of the two groups exist. This mode of communication, a person is speaking to an audience that can be rehearsed, prepared, or scripted.
Okay, right. Next team, please. Team C.
Yes, sir.
Wasim and Pawan.
So good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So to give a presentation on public relations. The presentation is given by my team members, sir. These are my team members. So coming to what is a public relation actually? Public relation refers to the practice of enhancing organization reputation in the eyes of the public. And coming to some definitions, public relation is the art of getting belief, which is given by Ivy Better Lee. And according to the British Institute of Public Relations is the deliberate, planned, and sustained effort to establish and maintain mutual understanding between an organization and its public. And coming to this, in order to maintain a public relation, in order to maintain certain relation, the communication is key, and the communication should be two-way, and it should be clear. Like what the sender is saying, the message should be properly interpreted by the receiver. Otherwise, the entire relation goes wrong. Next is continued by Uma Maheshwar.
So my name is Maheshwar, sir. I'm going to explain about various skills of public relations. There are a public representative, public relation representative need to have some skills. I'm going to explain four. Excellent writing skills. He need to have very good writing skills because he need to put his thoughts and in a meaningful way to impact and influence the customers. And you need to be creative to because you need to always come out with good new innovative ideas and to promote the organization its products. And you need to have the very good communication skills because you need to maintain good relations with the public. So you need to have the good communication skills to understand in a easy and understandable way language. You need to be proactive while doing all these things, and you need to be friendly. Maintain the relations with the customers and media and the investors in the entire organization. The next thing will continue by Wasim, sir.
There are four. I'm good. Hi, my name is Wasim. I'm going to explain about models of public relations. There are four models of public relations: publicity or press agentry. Publicity or press agentry is also called as P.T. Burman model. Press agentry publicity model follows one-way communication, where the flow of the information is only from the sender to the receiver. And second one is public information model. It emphasizes on the enhancing the image of an organization simply by circulating relevant and meaningful information among the targeted audience. Next one is two-way asymmetric model. Revolves around two-way communication between both parties and communication is somewhat not balanced. And next way is two-way symmetrical model. It is the ideal way of enhancing the organization reputation among the targeted audience. It depends on two-way communication to position their brand on to the end users. Next will be continued by Pawan.
With the topic of public relations, sir.
Going to explain about the tools of public relations. It includes press kits, audio release, ad release, and the first one, press kit. Press kits include written materials about the organization and its top people, and also the next one, newsletters. Newsletters are nothing but publications which are distributed on a regular basis, that is monthly or quarterly or yearly, among the target audience. And also public relations but collect complete information, that is the name, address, and export the information. And also the newsletter should include information about the organization, interview from key people, product information from clients, and next audio release. Audio release are pre-recorded messages to the various media channels, clarity, and public relations expert using various social media and charity activities to publicize their organization and products. Organizations distribute products among targeted audiences and to create a goodwill organizations. Next.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. This is Yashwant. So the objectives of public relations. The main objective of public relation is to maintain a positive reputation of the brand and maintain strategic relationship with the public and prospective customers, partners, and investors, etc. Anticipating, analyzing, and interpreting the public opinion towards the brand and drafting the strategies which is used free or earned media to influence them. So the third objective is to handling the social media presence of the brand and responding to the public use on social media websites. And the last one is dealing with the governments and legislative agencies on behalf of the organizations. And these are the major objectives of the public relations. Umesh, next slide, please. So conclusion. Public relations, that trust, it builds a trust gap between a business and it would be clients or customers. Every company needs a public relation department, or they must at least outsource this work to a PR consultant or agency. The essential part of the maintaining and enhancing the organization brand's image in the public eye and sending a message to general public, customers, and investors that you care. So thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
The team C, I have a small doubt. How charity will become public relations?
Sir, if ex-person is running a company, sir, so he can donate some amount of money to that particular charity, will in turn helps in building his reputation of the company, sir, by word of mouth. That in turn builds trust.
Okay, right.
Thank
you. Next, team D. That is Bhargav, Sai Kumar, Vinay, Suresh, and Sai.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Your video is on Team D.
One minute, sir. Minutes of meeting. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Our topic is minutes of meetings. What are the minutes? Meeting of minutes. Meeting minutes are notes that are recorded during a meeting. Minutes of meetings describes this way what was discussed and decided in a meeting. And there should be a permanent record of meeting for future reference. And there is include an overview of structure of meeting. They highlight the key issues that are discussed, motions proposed or voted on, and activities to be undertaken. The minute of meetings are usually taken by a designated member of the group. They task to be provided an accurate record of what transpired during the meeting. Every company should follow these minutes of meetings. And there should be a importance of meeting of minutes. Confirm any decisions made by a company. Record of any agreed actions to be taken by company. A record of who has been allocated any task or responsibilities made by a company, board of directors and some other workers. And company provide details of meetings to anyone unable to attend. And company should have survey record of meetings, procedures, and outcomes of procedures of company. And next continued by Vinay.
Good morning, sir. Hello. Hello. Good morning, sir.
Audible, Vinay.
Good morning, friends. This is Vinay. Format of meetings. Format of meetings generally minutes being with the organization name, place, date, list of peoples present or absent, and the time. Meeting minutes are the written records of the conversation of the decisions that are made over the course of meeting. Meeting minutes are the application to the many kind of groups with the company, including the board of meetings, and with the practice involving the including board of directors. The purpose of format of meetings is they provide historical records for the company, short-term and long-term plannings, and practices have to ability to use the meeting minutes or to record for future references. It provides legal protection for the organization. And the format of minutes are meetings that notes also serve to prove why and how the company came certain decision. Next we'll continue by Sai.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Are you audible? Hello. Good morning.
Yes, you are audible.
Audible. Task involved in taking minutes. Make a short summary about the meeting agenda. Make a list of all the details beforehand. Recording the body of the minutes. Concluding the minutes. Disturbing the minutes among the attendants. Next slide. Saiteja. Forms of recording minutes. In the video recording. In this recording, meetings are recorded in video. Next, audio recording. In this meetings are recorded in audio handwriting recording. In this recording, meetings are recorded in writable. Next, we'll continue by Suresh. Next, we'll continue Suresh.
Hello. Good morning, sir. I'm Suresh. Hi, everyone. I'm explaining about the body of the minutes, name of the organization, date and time the meeting, whose presence is who could not attend, a list of the
Suresh, sorry to interrupt you. Suresh.
Hello.
Suresh, I'm very sorry to interrupt you. Can you ask your roommates to switch off their sound?
Hello. Hello, scientist. Okay. Hi. The body of the minutes, name of the organization, date and time of meeting, whose presence and those who could not attend. Sir, did it clear?
You are getting resound.
Okay, sir. Sir, okay, sir.
Still we are getting resound.
Hello, sir. Is it okay, sir?
Okay, carry on.
The body of the minutes, name of the organization, date and time of the meeting, whose presence and those who could not attend, a list of the agenda items, summary of discussion, decisions for each agenda items, the action people committed to, summary of the decisions made. Next slide. Minute of narration, report, minutes of resolutions. Next, continued by Mr. Kothapalli sir.
Essentials of taking a minutes. Hello.
Carry on, sir.
Good morning, sir. Essentials of the taking the minutes. Recording simple short statements which capture decisions passed and actions agreed upon under each of the agenda headings. And second one, keep it brief and to the point. Third one, circulate within a week. And fourth one, impersonal tone. And last one, reported speech. Thank you for giving this opportunity to me. And thank you.
What do you mean by impersonal tone? Tell me, what do you mean by impersonal tone? Anyone from team B? This is one of the essentials of taking the next, no? What do you mean by impersonal tone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, team E. HSP, Madhumita, Miraj, Chandana, and Sri Charan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Share screen. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. I am Yashasvi. Today we are going to present on the topic of note making. Firstly, notes is a brief piece of writing usually recorded to inform or remind something which we have listened. So note making is a way of recording important details from a source. The sources can be of any books, articles, meetings, discussions, and many more. Note making is an oral discussion. It is a process of reviewing, connecting, and synthesizing ideas from lectures, meetings, or classes in an organization or educational institutions or anything. Taking visually clear, organized, and structured notes so that they are easy to read and make sense to later, which constitutes a good note making. Note making saves a lot of time by going through that notes which we have made. It is an important study skill. Note making is considered as an effective process of preparing notes. And next slide will be explained by Sri Charini.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. My name is Sri Charni, and today I am presenting making notes, helping you to making notes. And presence of mind is very important for note making. We have to be active and engaged in writing the notes. We have to understand what we are writing, and we should be able to explain what we have written. No need to write all the stuff. We have to be selective, written down the important points only, organize the ideas and link. Hello.
Yes, Charini, continue.
And remember easily. Review before the exam. And next slide, please. Importance of note making. Note making is an important study skill. It is a study written record of facts to aid the memory. Keep a lot of information at our disposal for the ready reference. To record a speech or disclosure while listening to it or after recording a book. Reconstruction what was said or written or those acceleration that process of recalling. Useful to study presentation so many subjects. Thank you. Next will be continued by my mate.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, friends. Mechanics of note making. We have 4 points in mechanics of note making. First one is headings. It shows the title of the note, and this is the first section of your note. And it must express the passage main theme and idea, and it should be middle of the page. Next point is subheadings. Subheading is a subdivision of the main topic, and it are the essential components of a paragraph that contains main information, and that must be divided into 4 to 5 points or subpoints. Third one is points, or further details on points of the subtitles that you wish to keep in these notes. And last one is abbreviation. Abbreviations are well known, and it is used for note making for easy understanding. Next, we are going to see the example of note making format. First, we start with heading, and then the main topic is subdivided. And are named as subheadings. Then continued by the points contained in it. And next one is points to be remembered. Avoid using long sentence as headings or title. And it should be brief and clear. Use logical sequence. And we should never lose the main idea of the passage. It is vital to give each note a meaningful title and to maintain the proper information. Only the most important instance should be provided, and do not include your new version or understanding. Next slide will be explained by Mehraj.
Thank you, Madhumita. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Now I am here to explain the process of note making. There are two main processes of note making, which is storing and retrieval. Storing, which means we frequently save information for future use, and information storage is necessary Since we cannot recall everything we learn by reading, speaking, or listening, that information can be useful in variety of situations. Some information may not be useful right now, but at some point in future, it will be used. Next one is retrieval. Storing anything is meaningless if we can't get it into when we need it. So material should be organized properly, and notes should not be written hurriedly. There is a point in taking notes if we don't use the information we save later. Now let us see the formats of note making. There are 5 formats, which is graph or pattern design, which is a visual note making design strategy. In this technique, the data is presented by a chart, and it is outwardly more clear. Next is mind map. It is a visual note making strategy. It contains text and pictures. Next is layout or outline format. It is also a visual note making design technique. Here the data is introduced as a blueprint. Appropriate titles and captions are numbered. Next is questions and prompt format. It is also a visual strategy. It is featured as a progression of inquiries with the suitable replies. It helps in rapidly going through the notes. And the last one is page split format. It is a descriptive format of note making technique. In this strategy, the page is partitioned into two sections. The primary section has the standard notes, and the subsequent segment will have a rundown or summary. Next slides will be continued by my teammate Chandana.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. Now I'm here to explain about methods of note making. There are 5 methods of note making. They are cornell method, outlining method, mapping method, chatting method, and sentence method. And now coming here to cornell method, it is a method used to take notes systematically. In this method, we have to draw lines or the margins on the paper. We have to draw 2.5 inches of margin on the left side and 6 inches on the right side of the paper. In simple words, we can draw a margins like an answer sheet. On the left side of the paper, we have to write the keywords or the clue or any side heading of the topic of the meetings. And on the right side, we have to take the main topics of the notes. And this method is used to
Sorry for
organized and
now meet will be ending. Please do rejoin immediately. Carry on, Chinna.
Organized and systematic for recording and reviewing notes. It is a method which is easy format for pulling out major concept and ideas. It is simple. This method is simple and efficient to use, and it saves time and effort. The other method is outlining method. In this, the main topic or the important information is written on the left side of the paper, and the minor or subtopics are to be presented on the right side of the paper. It looks like a proper note making. This method is used to represent the relationship between the meeting, and this format is most effective and note making. This is super and sharp method to take notes. It also reduces editing and easy to review by turning main points into questions. And the other method is mapping method. In this method, comprehensive and concentration skills are used to represent the idea into graphical method. It will be based on our imagination through the speaker words. In simple words, it is like pictorial method and graphical method. It is also easy to edit your notes by adding numbers, color coding, etc. The main points can be written on flashcards or note cards, and in the form of table. It reduces the time of writing at the time of taking notes. For example, we can take sales declines will be presented in a pictorial method or mapping method. And the other one is chatting method. In this method, we take the notes in the form of tables or rows and columns. It will be easy to take notes. The advantages and disadvantages or the differences between anything or timetables. Sorry for the interruption, sir. The chatting method provides easy mechanism for reviewing for both the facts and memorization. It will be used to comparison of the meetings. The other one is sentence method. A particular line or idea is taken first and then make it other notes. It will be like heading and main subheadings in the notes. It is more organized than a paragraph. It will be getting all the information in the sentence method. And now we are going to know about the benefits of the Madhumita. Next slide, please. Here are some benefits of note making. They are personalized convenience, reversible, alterable, quick learning. Here we can make notes as per our convenience and our understanding levels. Notes can be slightly changed to our convenience on the time without disturbing the main state or its original state. And this can be readily changed as per our convenience and our needs. From these notes, we can have an easy glance and learn from the note making. It is a record of primary contents of a lecture, meeting, or any study. For the latter use, it helps in thinking and giving a super lasting record. It helps in an idea effectively if the notes are in a way that would sound naturally to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
I would like to know from your team either how note making is helpful in managerial communication. How note making is helpful in managerial communication. Right, team F, Shekhar, Kavya, Pujana, Abhishek, Swarupa.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Is it visible, sir?
Good morning, sir. I'm Somashekar. Good morning, everyone. My topic is types of interview. My mates are Kavya, Swarupa, Sujana, Abhishek. The content of my topic is definition, types of interview, unstructured interview, structured interview, situational interview, one-on-one interview, job-related interview, fresh interview, mass interview, and last one is the conclusion. The next slide will be continued, Kavya.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Bhavya. I am here to explain about what is interview. An interview is a procedure designed to obtain information from person through oral responses to oral inquiries. Interview is a face-to-face conversation between interviewer and interviewee. Interviewer seeks replies from the interview for choosing a potential human resources. Here there are the types of interviews: unstructured interviews, structured interview, situational interview, job related interviews, stress interview, panel interview, one-on-one interview, mass interview, and phone interview. Here we discuss about the few topics, few types of interviews. There is number one, unstructured interview. This type of unstructured interview, there is no format, no rules to follow here. The interview can take various directions. The lack of structure allows the purpose of the points and interest as they develop. Unstructured interview is an interview where open-ended questions are there. It involves a procedure where different questions may be asked to different applicants. Thank you, sir. Next slide will be explained by Swarupa.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Swarupa. Structured interviews the interviewer lists the questions and acceptable responses in advance and may even rate and score possible answer for appropriate. An interview consisting of a series of job-related questions and asked consistency of each application for a particular job is known as a structured interview. Next slide. Situational interview. Situational interview, you ask the candidate what his or her behavior would be in a given situation. Candidates are interviewed about what actions they would take and in various job related situations. Interviews ask interview to describe how they would react to a hypothetical situation today or tomorrow. Next slide, Sujana.
Good morning, sir. I am Sujana. Now I'm explaining about one-on-one interview. One-on-one interview is the easiest and common interview. In this interview, one interviewer meets one candidate. In a typical employment interview, the applicant meets one-on-one with an interviewer, as the interview may be a highly emotional occasion for the applicant. Meeting alone with the interviewer is so often less threatening. And in one-on-one interview, mostly in multiple stages, maybe operational, technical, and general. Coming to the job related interview, in job related interview, the interviewer and the candidate will be there, and in this interview the interviewer asks the applicant questions about relevant past experiences, and it is a series of job related questions that focus on relevant past experience or related behavior or related any knowledge on studies. The questions here don't revolve around the hypothetical or actual situations or scenarios. The next slide content will be by Abhishek.
Good morning, sir. Yes, my name is Abhishek, sir, and today I'm going to explain you about the stress interview, sir. In a stress interview, the interview seeks to make the applicant comfortable with the occasional route questions. Like they can test the people like mentally or whatever the questions they want. They can test in these kind of interviews, sir, in stress interviews. So, sir, coming to next type of interview, mass interview, sir. The mass interview or the group interview is a relatively new technique in the West and almost unknown, sir. It is a procedure for discovery of leadership. Like, sir, if a group discussion is conducted, who is leading the team, that can be known through this mass interview, sir. And several job applicants are placed in a leaderless discussion, and interviewers sit in a background. Means they will not sit like face to face, sir. They will be sitting on the backside and they will be observing the postures and gestures what the candidates are doing, sir. So this kind of interviews can be seen like in many army kind of interviews or like MNCs kind of things, sir. So leadership skills is very important in this mass interview, sir. And sir, coming to conclusion, sir. So get your mind in control, sir. Whatever you are saying, that should you must have your control on your brain, sir, and whatever the sentence, and show you have done in your research. Like research work, if you're doing, you have to highlight that I have done this kind of things and with the different organizations, sir. And hot those achievements together with the number. Like we have to rate from 1 to 10, sir. If we have done the biggest of the achievement, we have to give 8, 9, or 10, sir. So be honest to your answer. We have to be always honest whatever we are speaking, sir. So, sir, thank you for giving the opportunity to us, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, Akshay, I would like to know from you people that what is the main purpose of interview?
Sir, actually, interview is a process, sir, where the potential candidate can be known, sir. Like, is he suitable for the job what they require, sir, and the mental stability or how they are going to react to the situations in the company, sir. That kind of thing. Sir, sir.
Different from the written test.
Sir, it is how it is different.
Government is going for carrying out some written tests, and depending on the score they scored in written test, they are going to take the opportunity of giving a job.
Yes, sir.
So how this interview technique is different from written test?
Sir, like, sir, I don't want to tell in a political manner, sir, but the interview process is good.
I don't want to ask regarding political manner. How do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What actually you understand regarding whether the interviews are good or not?
Sir, it is good, sir. Sir, actually, sir, in a written, sir, yeah, written is a kind of thing, sir. You will work hard and you can get it. But the interview kind of thing, sir, what we have to face, whatever he's asking, spontaneously we have to give the answer, sir. So interview is, in my sense, it is important, sir, to know the factual value and what the person is, sir. I think interview is very good, sir. To it plays a vital role, sir.
Yeah, as far as my concern is concerned, the interviews will give you the actual character of the person, whether that fellow is suitable for the organization or not. Personal and behavioral aspects can be identified using the interview. This cannot be viewed or this cannot be seen in a written kind of thing. Okay, thank you. Thank you, team.
Sir, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, team G. That is Rahul, Srinath, Madhukumar, Akhil Sai.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good.
Hello, good morning, sir. Good morning, all. Myself, Navya Jyoti. So my teammates are Rahul, Srinath, and Akhil, Madhu. So today we are here to give some small presentation on group discussions. So let's enter into our topic, group discussion. Wait a second. Hello.
Yeah.
Can anyone see my screen?
No, it's not visible.
Abhi, now can you see?
No, Navya, I'm not able to see.
1 second.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, Navya.
Hello, Rahul.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah, okay, sir. So today our topic is group discussions. So mainly group discussion is a combination of two words. So it is group and discussion. So let's know what is group and discussion. Group means like a team of 3 or more than 3 people to work together like under some conditions and terms in order to achieve their goals and targets. The performance of a group always depends on the each individual performance. And whereas this discussion means it consists of 2 or more than two people. Well, they were exchanging their ideas within each other, like within a team regarding a specific topic. And moreover, it is a face-to-face interaction. And the main motto of this discussion is always to come up with a great decision to get success by taking all the individual knowledge and actions, disagreements and agreements, etc. So this is all about discussion. So the main difference between group and discussion is group is like form of two or three or more than three people, whereas discussion can be happen between two or more than two people. So this is about discussion. So the main objects of this group discussion are here. So let's discuss about competency and politeness, general awareness, leadership, teamwork, and listening ability, problem solving skills, communication skills. So what is competency? So every individual should have some competency about what they were speaking and sharing knowledge with the team while they were speaking out within the discussion. So where come politeness means being polite to each other while they were sharing knowledge and while taking knowledge from the each other. So general awareness, we have to know about the things what they were speaking about within a group discussion or else group decision. And like a leader should, the one who should have give a chance to everyone, every individual to participate and discuss about the things what they were doing. And listening ability, listening also very important among all. So everyone should have listening skills while they were speaking about something. Everyone will listen at the same time while others speaking about. They should have the ability to listen all the things. Problem solving skills. So every individual should have their own ability to find the where the problem comes from. At the same time, while they were finding this problem, they are supposed to even find a solution to resolve it. And communication skills, these are the most important. While we are sharing the information or while we are communicating with each other, we should supposed to understand the things what actually we were saying. Is it understandable to everyone or not? We are supposed to know. And mainly teamwork. So every individual and every person is a they should have their own targets to reach this teamwork to be done. So this is all about the objects of group discussion. So next slides will be continued by Madhu.
Good morning, sir. Myself Madhu. Here I am going to explain the group discussion process. The group discussion process involves in 5 steps. The first one is topic announcement, preparation time and discussion, followed by the participants and group summarization and judgment of performance. The process of group discussion starts from the announcement of a topic. Before going to start group discussion, we have time for preparation time for a group discussion. Any participant of the group can can initiate the group discussion, and anyone can also continue the discussion after the initiation. It ends whenever the panelists stop the discussion or ask the one or more than participant to summarize the group discussion. Next one. Importance of group discussion. Importance of group discussion, which improves increase the confidence and focus on deep thinking, improves the communication skills and remove the hesitance of speaking and teamwork. Group discussion which improves the confidence to speak of anywhere, and which involves in the deep thinking, how to solve any problem in different ways, and which improves the communication skills. And next converse, Srinath.
How it will improve the teamwork?
Hello. Good morning, sir. My name is Srinath. Types of group discussion. There are 2 types of group discussion. First one is topic-based group discussion, case study-based group discussion. There are few candidates in a group where each group is given any topic. The group members discuss the topic, which is called group discussion. The topic-based group discussion can be further classified as controversial topics, knowledge-based topics, abstract topics, conceptual topics. Controversial topics. The discussion on controversial topic become a debate. Such topics are given to judge a participant's temper and how they can handle the discussion without losing their calm. Examples are reservation system, religion equality, etc. Knowledge-based topic. The participants should have a proper understanding of the topic before proceeding for the discussion. Examples are cat versus gate, government job versus private jobs. Abstract topic. The abstract topic tests the creativity and thinking of a candidate. It also tests the communication skills. Example, a walk to remember. Conceptual topics. The conceptual topic are widely used today by companies. It tests the knowledge, logical, and aptitude skills of a candidate. Examples of life is a puzzle. Next, case study based group discussion. The case study based group discussion is generally followed by the MBA institutes such as IIM, IITs. In such a discussion, a problem is given and the participants are asked to resolve. This preparation time also higher as compared to the other discussions. Examples are manager business problems, issues, discussion between boss and manager. Next slide. Rules of GD. Prepare well for topic. We have to prepare all information about the topic. Be confident about your content. Participant introduction. We have to introduce the participants in our group and in our group discussion. Body language. We have to behave well and with good dress sense like tie, belt, shoes. Leadership. We have to lead the group. Avoid false statements. We have to avoid false statements, false information, and we have to tell only truth. Do not fight. We cannot fight in group discussion. We have to argue with positive intent. Thank you. Next slide, continued by Rahul.
Change the slide. Okay, thank you. Here I'm going to discuss about the estimation criteria for a group discussion. The performance of an effective group discussion depends on individual skills and group coordination. Yeah, when coming to the individual skills, can you change the slide? Okay, thank you. Yeah, some of the individual skills are communication skills like content. I'm going to detail about communication skills. All the participants in the group discussion present their views on the given topic. The language used should be simple so that everyone present in the discussion can be easily understand. And coming to the content of the GD, the content is an essential part for the discussion. The content is the words spoken by every candidate. The content should not be copied or repetitive, and it should not be in a wrong, and should not create any negative impression on a candidate. And coming to some analytical skills that are required for the GD, the analytical skills include the exploration of the question asked. Such skills are more focused on case study group discussion. It primarily includes exploring how and why the subject of the content. When coming to creativity, it includes, when coming to creativity, it includes how You can think differently from other participants or present your view in a different views. So you can also abstract the topic differently. All these type points will have make you unique in the group. When coming to decision making, GD helps in evaluation of the topic and reaching towards a specific decision. It based on the suggestions given by the members of the group. Task of the selected suitable candidates from the group also becomes easy for the panelist or boss. When coming to covering mistakes, the panelist gave the topic at the time of group discussion. You usually get a few minutes to prepare. So sometimes while speaking or some mistakes may happen, but it does not mean that you should not stop the discussion in between and get nervous. In such cases, never lose your confidence, mistake and come back with the confidence. And come into skills, the panelist or the boss participant is right in his or her logic. So they also check how good you are in supporting standpoints, how you respond to the other participants, and we cannot strengthen your arguments in the discussion. Then coming to your voice can range from high pitch to low pitch or a low pitch to high pitch. In some situations, high pitches are more irritating, while low pitch may not be understood by everyone present in the discussion. So your voice plays a major role in the group discussion. High pitch is useful when the group discussion becomes a market where everyone is speaking and no one is audible. At the time where high pitch can be calm the participants. So you can adjust your voice and pitch as per the circumstances. When coming to influencing, a participant of a group discussion should have fluent in his or her spoken English. Everyone in the discussion listens to you carefully. Proper fluency will distract the listeners. When coming to enthusiasm, group discussions are generally unpredictable. Various candidates are keen to share their views with others. When coming to innovative means to take the lead in the discussion. If you are confident and have the good knowledge about the topic, you can take the initiative and you can go with it. When coming to can you change slide? Sorry, group coordination. Back. Yes, okay, thank you. When coming to group coordination means body language, your behavior, or teamwork, your listening skills, and leadership quality. When coming to the body language, panelists will mainly focus on your eye contact and hand movements. The way of your sitting is also essential. Some hand movements and signs are the key interest in the discussion. You cannot sit randomly as you are in the home. So you can sit carefully the way you sit and speak, etc. The speaker should maintain eye contact with every participant in the discussion, but it does not mean that you are not maintain eye contact with you are not speaking. So you are required to be aware of the whole discussion properly. The behavior. When coming to the behavior of the candidate in the group discussion should not be aggressive. He should be polite. Remember, the B schools or organizations are looking for sensitive and polite candidates, not violent bouncers. Okay, when coming to listening skills, the panelists observe that every candidate is listening to the discussion or not. So they can ask the candidate to summarize the discussion at the end. When coming to leadership quantity in a group, one or two participants play the role of a leader. They define the essential points of a topic and try to hold the grip of the group to achieve a common goal. In coming to teamwork in a company, we need to work as a team for the project. Due to this reason, panelists also check the coordination of the participant in the team. Do not interfere any participant while speaking. Do not try to improve that the participants are not speaking correctly. In coming to some mistakes. Next slide, please. Yeah, some of the common mistakes made by the people during the group discussion are hello. Yes, okay. Stop taking lead if you don't know the much. Means if you don't know anything regarding the topic that I have given, so try to you initiating the topic. Everything. Okay, just don't hesitate. Go with the topic and be the initiator of the topic. Do not copy anyone else's ideas or comments. If anyone speak anything, don't try to copy it or imitate it and don't comment it also. Do not avoid eye contact with other participants while speaking. When you are speaking about a topic, try to maintain eye contact with everyone. So don't try to avoid your eye contact with the person and also don't try to maintain eye contact with a single person. Try to make an eye contact and with every person in the discussion. Or do not lose confidence in the whole discussion. If you said any mistake or wrong thing, don't lose your self-confidence, gain the self-confidence and come back. Come back, gives you more points. Okay. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Have a nice day. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you.
Shivakumar, Sai Kirti, Nadi, Shweta, and Prashant regarding non-verbal communication.
So good morning, sir. Let me share my PPT, sir.
Good morning.
So good morning, sir. So this is managerial communication subject, sir. Today our topic name is non-verbal communication, sir. Our teammates are my name is Chalashu Kumar, sir, and other team members names are Nandan Saikiti, Rapili Shweta, Sumarap Navin, and Kuelapat Prashant, sir. The definition of non-verbal communication: the act of conveying information without the use of words is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication occurs through facial expressions, gestures, body language, tone of voice, and other physical indications of mood, attitude, approbation, and so forth, some of which may require knowledge of the culture or subculture to understand. So the types of non-verbal communication will be explained by my friend Prashant, sir. Kuvilapati Prashant. Prashant, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Now I'm going to explain about all the types of non-verbal communication. So those are, please share the slides. Okay, coming to facial expression. So this is one of the types in non-verbal communications, and facial expression. It includes gestures, paralanguage such as loudness of tone of voice, body language, etc. Now coming to voice. So in the process of non-verbal communication, so your facial expressions or tone of the voice are powerful communication tools. So next, body language. So coming to body language, it's an effective means of non-verbal communication. You can tell a lot about a person from their facial expressions, body postures, etc. And haptics. Haptics in communicating through touch is another important non-verbal communication. So there has been a substantial amount of research on the importance on this particular type of non-verbal communication. And thank you. Next, remaining things will be followed by teammates.
So the characteristics of non-verbal communication will be explained by my friend Rapili Shweta. Shweta, over to you.
Good morning, sir. My topic is about characteristics of non-verbal communication. First one is instinctive. Non-verbal communication is in nature that indicates the attitude. And next one is less conscious. Words are spoken after due to thinking with conscious efforts depending on the situation. And the next one is subtle. Spoken and written words are obviously and easy to see, listen, and understand. Last one is complementary to verbal communication. It does not stand alone on its own, and neither does not it completely substitute communication with words rather than it complements. On scientific analysis, it has been found that different aspects of communication accounts for percentages stated. And next, continue. Thank you, sir.
So functions of non-verbal communication will be explained by my friend Naveen. Naveen, over to you.
Good morning, all. Functions of non-verbal communication. First one is contradicts verbal message. Contradicting is sending a non-verbal message that disagrees with what is being said. This can be done deliberately in order to confuse. It also may happen subconscious when lying. Second one is reinforce or emphasizes verbal message. A non-verbal message reinforces the verbal message when it adds to its meaning in the same way that the underlying written words emphasizes them. Next one is regulate flow of verbal communication. Non-verbal communication regulates conversations flow as it provides important cues that signals the beginning and end of the conversation turns and facilitates the beginning and end of the interaction. Next one is complements the verbal message. Complementing non-verbal cues can be used to elaborate on verbal message to reinforce the information sent when trying to achieve communication goals. These cues complements the verbal message and highlight its impact. Next one is substitute for spoken words. Non-verbal communication may also take the place of verbal message. Indeed, some messages are sent which no words are at all. Example, a goodbye, where without any verbalization or the okay. Thank you. Next, Shiva.
So conclusion, sir. Animals communicate their deepest feelings through gestures, cries, whistling, cooing, and other signals known to each other. Human beings have evolved the language of words to convey thoughts in a structured manner. Still, many times we intend to convey our feelings by smiling, patting, groaning, shouting, and or using a wordless clues. Nonverbal communication speaks much louder than words. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for people these computers. So completed, sir.
Yeah, team I think the Zoom time is over. We log in again.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, get it.
Actually, sir, the meeting will stop now, it seems. So that is why we are waiting for like 1 minute. Yeah, that is correct. So that is why we're after this done, we'll start. Can everyone please mute themselves, please? Good morning, sir, and everyone. Our topic for today's seminar is interview process, which will be presented by the team of 5 members who will introduce themselves while their turn comes. So can you please go into the next slide? The contents of this PPT will be interview process and the steps that are involved in that process. Next slide, please. Let us first understand what interview process is. It is nothing but a process which is a multi-step practice that companies use to screen candidates from a larger pool. The stages and requirements will be changed from a company to company depending upon their requirements and the needs for the position or the job profile that they want to fill in. Usually it is one of the most important processes for an organization. So they contain a step of 5 stages in an interview, each of which will be explained by each one of us, starting with introductions. Coming to the introduction, it is one of the most important steps in the process, which happens to be the first. Here, both the company and the candidate will be giving their first impressions. So it is better to keep it very genuine and be transparent in portraying what are all the abilities you have. It is better to be very genuine and not to sugarcoat the facts which we don't possess. Furthermore, will be continued by Amulya. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'll be explaining about the small talk. After introductions are finished, it is a good idea to conduct a small bit of small talk with the candidate. Small talk is important because it is one of the best methods to foster a healthy working relationship and build rapport. When it comes to picking topics for the stage of interview process, try to find something that the candidate is interested in. Keep the discussion positive. Remember, you're just trying to gauge if the candidates will be present person to work with and help them to see themselves working at your company. Small talk examples can be about the office environment or about the interviewer day. How is it going? And next will be continued by Yamini. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. The third step of interview process is information gathering. After small talk, it comes a bit to information gathering or asking the candidate to tell or give their elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is nothing but 30 to 60 seconds brief about the candidate to get the attention of the interviewer and make him interested in the candidate. This is an important step because it shows just how well prepared or unprepared the candidate is and tests the ability of the candidate. While the candidate giving their elevator pitch, it is important to pay attention. Like the interviewers will closely pay attention to some of the factors like is there the speech organized, is it concise, does the candidate sound confident about their abilities and qualities, what their body language look like and when they are speaking. And these are some of the factors the interviewer keep track of it so that he would know better about the candidate, whether he would fit for the company or not, or what kind of employee this candidate will be. The next step will be continued by Amulya. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Now I'm going to tell you about the question and answers in the interview process. Question and answers is a two-way exchange of ideas, and the candidate will ask you about the questions about the questions like regarding the company status, turnover, etc. And the interviewer will ask you about the few questions regarding your to know about your knowledge, skills, how much knowledge you are having in the job description he mentioned. And the question and answers will be of three types. One is a behavior question, second one is a situational questions, and the third one is a job related questions. In the behavior questions, he will ask you about the past experiences you have faced in the company and how you behaved when you faced some situations you don't know, like that was mentioned in the job description. And the situation questions is about the future. Suppose if you are facing so and so situation, how will you react according to in that situation, he will ask you. And third one is a job related questions. In the job related questions, you want to know about your skills, about your knowledge you are having, so that he will know whether you are fit for the position or not. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Shrikant, and here the final step, wrapping up the interview. Closing out an interview is as important as the other stages. Just as having a good first impression is important, and leaving the candidate feeling good about company and its culture is key to hiring the top talent in our district. And The very last, always end the interview with an handshake and thank the candidate for their time. And it is also a good idea to give them a quick tour of your office. And if you didn't do when they first came in, and be sure to walk with candidate out. And whether you are interested in candidate or not, it is important to courteous and thankful somebody to took their time interview at your company. And that's all for now. And I'm doing this.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. This is Sai Teja from Team R. Due to some issues, we are giving a presentation in advance in place of Team J. Now, screen will be shared by Bhargav. Bhargav.
Jolly.
Team J.
Jolly.
Praditi, Vaishnavi, Manaswini, Meghana, and Chandana.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Sai Teja.
Sir, due to some issues, we are giving our presentation in place of Team J.
You are in Team R now?
Yes, sir. Team R. We are.
Yeah, continue. Start.
Okay, sir. Just wait a minute, sir. I'll share the screen.
అరే నాది నాకన్నా పంపుర్రా
Good afternoon, sir. Our topic is 7 C's of approach of communication. Our team members, B. Chandrasekhar, K. Vinay, Prashant, and Karthik. Next slide. Communication. What is communication? It can be defined as the exchange of information, ideas, and knowledge between sender and receiver through an accepted code of symbol. Here, 7 C's are used for transmitting effective written or oral messages. Certain principles must be followed. The principles are advocated by guidelines for choice of context and style of presentation required to fill the purpose of Hello. Sorry for the interruption.
Please continue.
Yes, sir. So now 7 C's of approach. The 7 C's of approach of communication is a checklist that helps to improve the professional communication skills and increase the chance that the message will be understood in exactly the same way as it was intended. What are the 7 C's? First one, clear, correct, complete, concrete, concise, consideration, and courteous. These are the 7 C's. Next topic will be continued by my friend Prashant.
Sir.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, good morning, sir. My name is Prashant. My topic is courtesy. It is not at all biased. It shows respect for the receiver. It is positive and focused at the audience. So next one is the concreteness. Message is supported by facts and figures. It leads to objectivity, and concrete messages are not misinterpreted. The next slide comes to by my friend Vinay. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Correctness. The message is exact and well timed and makes appropriate use of language. Correctness boosts confidence levels. It is impact on the audience. It adds to the beauty of it. Conciseness. It saves time and cost. Focus is the main idea. It is appealing and it is non-repetitive. The next slide will be continued by Chandrasekhar.
Thank you, Vinay. Good morning, sir. I'm Chandrasekhar. I'm going to continue the topic of consideration. In the communication, we must have to consider all the audience and speakers as well. Consideration makes message receiver oriented, emphasizes your approach. Intense positive reaction from the audience, and it facilitates better two-way communication. And then next
Thank you, Vinay. Next is clarity. Clarity of
improve the meeting,
improve the meeting,
makes
meaning of
understanding
messages
clear.
and makes understanding clear.
Clarity makes messages easy to understand, and it completes
Clarity makes messages easy to understand and complete clear of thought, clear
appropriate
use of exact, appropriate, and
avoid
concrete words.
redundancy and makes
It avoids redundancy and makes
the next slide will be
any
completed
code.
by
And the next slides will be completed by Karthik.
Good afternoon, sir. Completeness. It develops proper understanding. Saves cost, time, and energy. Puts the receiver in a comfortable position to make proper deductions. Help the receiver to make proper decisions. Present to the receiver. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Manashwini, can you please share the screen?
Someone is sharing, I can't. Someone is sharing the screen. I'm unable to share.
It is a technical glitch. Please wait for some time.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pradipti. Today I'm here to present a seminar on do's and don'ts in interview. Firstly, interview. An interview is a structured conversation where one participant asks questions and the other provides answers. The word interview refers to a one-on-one conversation between an interviewer and an interviewee. Interviews usually takes place face to face.
Okay,
There are generally, hello.
Carry on.
Okay, sir. In organizations or companies, the interviews are generally conducted to test the interviewee skills, check their domain knowledge, examine their skills, scrutinize their behavior and attitude, and many other aspects. They are required to fulfill the organizational needs. There are general tips you should follow when job interviewing. This vary depending on the actual interview. There are different kinds of interviews should be aware of. Face-to-face interview, phone interviews, informational interviews, after the job interviews, and so on. Coming to the face-to-face interview do's, do take a practice run to the location where you are having the interview, or be sure you know exactly where it is and how long it takes to get there. Do your research and know the type of job interview you will be encountering. Do prepare and practice for the interview, but don't memorize or over rehearse your answers. Do dress the part for the job, the company, the industry. Do plan to arrive about 10 minutes early. Late arrival is never accusable. If you are running late, do phone to the company. Do greet the receptionist or assistant with courtesy and respect. This is where you make your first impression. Do shake hands firmly. Don't have a limp or calm shake hand. Do make good eye contact with your interviewer. And do show enthusiasm in the position. Next will be continued by Chandana.
Good morning, sir. I'm going to continue with Pradipti. I'm going to explain about don'ts in face-to-face interview. In this, you should never lie. Answer questions truthfully, frankly, and succinctly, and don't ever answer questions straightforward. Don't say anything negative. Don't answer cell phone calls during the interview. Don't burn any bridges if you do not get a job offer. And do try to turn the situation into a positive by bringing the interviewer into your side, by asking him about the the contacts which we will get in further connection. And next slide. Don't chew gum during the interview. Don't tell jokes during the interview. Don't be soft spoken. A forceful voice project confidence. Don't smoke even if the interviewer does and offer you a cigarette. Next will be continued by Manaswini.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Meghana.
Kindly switch on your video, so they are recording, you know. Yeah, carry on.
This is Meghana. I'm going to explain about the do's in the phone interview. First one, do speak thoughtfully and professionally. During the interview, think first before you speak. Give the answers to the interview's question with a genuine thought and the consideration. Since the interview can't see you, so it's an important thing that you express your emotions through your inflections of your voice, and speak the professionally to the interviewer and their questions in the formal language. And the second one is do check your phone connection before start the phone interview. Check your phone connection is ensure that you have the working service or not, and the connection is good or not. Test your connection before the starting of the phone interview for the 2-3 times for the good and smooth interview experience. And next one, do call on time. It is important that to provide yourself with enough time to ready for the interview. uh, Try to at least 2-3 minutes before to prepare yourself. Once you're ready, you can make call at the designated time. If the interviewer is late, wait for 2-3 minutes, and then you will try to call them again. Do prepare questions to ask the interviewer. A cruel step in the phone interview is that after the completion of the successful interview, questions can be readily available to ask the interview. You have that right to ask the questions after the completion of your phone interview only. Having the questions to ask help your interest in the position. By asking the questions, the interviewer feels that you have the interest in that position to work in that company. So save your questions until the end of the interview. And next one, do speak up if you can't hear well. Sometimes you or the interviewer might have some of the poor connections in the signal, or something unavoidable background voices. It can't be unavoidable. So if you are handling these type of circumstances during the phone interview, you can respectfully inform these kind of issues to the interviewer that you are unable to hear, and speak clearly and loudly in that case. And next one is do take notes during the interview. Since the interviewer can't see your actions in the phone interview, so you is the perfect opportunity that you can take notes, or the relevant or important necessary information which can be useful for the further interviews or further any meetings. For example, they will give some of the important notes about the company or next interview timings, etc. This can be useful by making notes of that interviewer. And next one is do gather your essential. To prepare yourself for the phone interview, it's important that you have gather your essentials, that you can stay engaged with the interview for the entire duration of the phone interview. This helps to reduce any problems during the phone interview, or any some signal problems or whatever it is maybe. Last one is do search the company beforehand. Another last step is that in phone interview, researching of the company. Before going to the phone interview, you should know what the company's main aim, main purpose, what is the use of the products, what is the company's profit, or what is it's the rate of the position in the society. It might be all known before the phone interview about the company. Thank you, and next will be continued by the Manashwini.
Good afternoon, sir. And good afternoon, friends. I'm Manashwini. and my topic is don'ts for an phone interview. Here we have 5 don'ts for an phone interview. First one, don't multitask. During an interview, it's important that you avoid multitasking to minimize distractions. Instead, focus on providing interviewer with your attention. It says that you are actively listening what they are saying and responding, and also indicates that you are engaged in conversation. And next one, don't use speakerphone. Avoid putting your device on speaker because it sometimes becomes more challenging to the interviewer to listen your voice. Instead, hold your phone up to the ear or attentively use earpiece or headset to communicate clearly. And third one, don't speak in a public or noisy location. Try to avoid taking the call in public place or noisy environment. Instead, look for a quiet place so that the interviewer can hear you clearly and won't get distracted by any surrounding sounds. A quiet room at home or an enclosed space where you can be alone is better. And coming to the fourth one, don't speak over the interviewer. You can't read the body language and clues of the interviewer to suggest when it's time to speak. Try not to disrupt or talk over interviewer. Demonstrate patience and don't feel the need to speak through the silence. Let the interviewer speak first and allow them moment of silence. This silence indicates that the interviewer finished speaking and authorized you to start the conversation. This helps you to show respect and thoughtfulness to the interviewer. Fifth one, don't show poor behavior. Poor behavior may describe a way of speaking that insensitive to the interviewer feelings and time. Try to connect with the interviewer on an interpersonal level while still maintaining professionalism. Be gracious with your compliments, show confidence when describing yourself, and remain humble. And last one, demonstrating friendliness and respect towards the interviewer can make a great first impression. Thank you. And the next slide will be continued by Vaishali.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Vaishali. My topic is do's and don'ts of after a job interview. What to do after a job interview? The first one is debrief once you arrive home. Take a step back and write down the questions asked that you are not prepared for and the questions where you are not satisfied for. It helps to analyzing your performance in interview. Next one is send a thank you. Send an email to interviewer. It's a good opportunity to thank you them. Email after interview will make an impact. The next one is do continue to follow up, especially if you have been told you are still in process. It is important to follow up and let them know you still interested. And the next is what not to do in after a job interview. The first one is don't harass the recruiter. We know that waiting for an answer can be stressful, but this is not a reason for sending several mails and calling them recruiter 10 times. Not good way to approach. The next one is don't stop job hunting. After one interview, you will never be able to predict what the hiring managers will not. And you don't want to miss the opportunities by putting your search on hold. The next one is don't lose touch with recruiter. Keeping in touch with the recruiter is important too. Having a good relationship with him will work in your favor in future. Thank you.
Team K, it is Bharat, Srikanth, Naveen, Shashikumar, and Ashok Kumar. Team K, Bharat, Srikant, Naveen, Shishkumar, and Ashil Kumar. Then Team L, Sai Kiran, Dinesh, Manohar, Kalyani, Ayan.
Yes, sir. Team L is ready.
Yeah, Team L, continue.
We'll continue.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Kalyani. I'm here to present our seminar on international communication. International communication is also referred to as the study of global communication or transnational communication, and it is the communication practice that occurs across international borders. The need for international communication was due to the increasing effects and influences of globalization. As a field of study, international communication is a branch of communication studies concerned with the scope of government to government, business to business, and people to people interactions at a global level. Communication and empire. Efficient communication networks played crucial roles in establishing ancient imperial authority and international trade. The extent of empire could be used as an indication of the efficiency of communication. Ancient empires such as Rome, Persia, and China all utilized writing in collecting information and dispersing, creating enormous postal and dispatch systems. Next, it would be continued by Dinesh.
Thank you, Kalyani. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. My topic is the era of new agencies. The newspaper industry and international telegraph networks mutually facilitated each other. So, guys, can I continue?
Check the
Yeah,
star is
continue.
there.
Yeah, continue.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
The era of new agencies. The newspaper industry and international telegraph networks mutually facilitated each other. Telegraph communications drastically altered the way in which news was produced. The individual items of modern newspapers became no longer selected on the basis of spatial proximity, but following newly emerging journalistic criteria of news relevance. As the supply and demand of the newspaper industry rapidly increased in the 19th century, new news agencies were established successively. Sorry. Next slide, please. Yeah, discussed about radio broadcasting, Western countries seized the chances to implement radio communications after the first radio transmissions of human voice in 1902. But the two mechanisms of radio broadcasting were distinctively different. In the USA, the Radio Act of 1927 confirmed its status as an advertising funded commercial enterprise. While in Britain, the public broadcasting pioneer, British Broadcasting Corporation, that is BBC, we call it now, set up in the same year. During the First World War and Second World War, radio broadcasting played a significant role in both domestic public opinion management and international diplomacy propaganda abroad. Next presentation will be continued by Saikir. Thank you.
Next slide, please. Yeah, considerations for international communication. When communication internationally, it is important to take culture into consideration. Though English has become the language of business, many business fail to recognize that the language used does not determine how business is conducted. Therefore, it is important to understand that intercultural and international communication are interchangeable. When coming to the consideration, understanding needs, values, expectations, goals, culture and social norms, roles, attitudes, these are also very important considerations. And effective communication between international business partners is critical for global success and underlying national and organizational culture differences in the international business relationship can create hurdles to effective communication, which can hinder performance. As a tourist, it may be acceptable to maintain the cultural norms from a country of origin when visiting, though attempting to adapt would be appreciated. However, when conducting business, it is important to recognize cultural differences, especially when communicating. And next, scope and approaches of international communication. International communication is widely spread and multi-layered in contemporary society. However, it is not considered as a separate academic discipline because of its overlapping with other subjects. International communication is a topic field rather than a discipline field, and international communication studies is a mode of organizing inquiry. John D.H. Downing proposed 10 theories within which international communication should be conducted. The theories are theories of international communication, core international communication process, global media forms, global media policies, global news flows, world cinema, development communication, the internet, intellectual property law, non-homogeneous communication flow. The next slide to be continued by Manohar.
And the development of international communication has started. The Second World War was a catalyst for international communication. Analytical tools used for communication researchers used to mobilize domestic public support for war, to understand enemy propaganda and development psychological warfare techniques to influence the moral opinions of alliances and enemies. The Rockefeller Foundation convened and founded a communication seminar every month from 1939 to 1940. The year at New York headquarters. Next slide. The initial purpose was bring together leading scholars interested in communication to provide theoretical guidance for future communication studies, including Loswell and Loserfeld. When a United States entered the war at the end of 1941 with the outbreak of European economic crisis, communication research became an important factor in discussing government policies. And communication technology development. Media development can be said to be independent media created by private intervention during the transmission period through international intervention. Even before emergence of technology, communication has been at the forefront of relationship building and business development. Today, newer advancements like texting and messaging apps have allowed for even more efficient international communications. And hereafter will be continued by Ayan.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sheikh Hizar Hello.
Yeah, I am continue.
Yeah, please do continue. Yeah.
Yeah, share the screen here, please. Why international communication important? On one important level, they serve to spread the influence of a nation and its policy. They could take from gathering intelligence, but far more than often, it's throughout what political scientists call soft power. The use of constructive relationship building events, instructions, and other means of interaction. Why do we need international communication? The need for international communication was due to increased effects influence of globalization. International communication, political, economic, social, culture, and military concerns. Why is communication important in international business? Effective communication between international business partners is critical for global success. By managing its communication, a firm can develop stronger international business relationship, facilitating the rapid response to market opportunities and challenges. Thank you, sir.
That is Team M. Sandeep, Vamshi Krishna, Manish, and Abhinav.
Yeah, sir. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Yeah, Saiteja, could you start sharing your screen? And our topic is communication using technology, sir.
Yeah.
Saiteja, could you share your screen? Yes, sir. Is screen visible to you, sir? Yeah, sir. Is the screen visible to you, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and coming to the topic, and our topic is communication using technology, sir. And it is presented by me. This is K. Sandeep, and my teammates Vamshi Krishna, Manish, Abhinay, and Pradeep Verma. And coming to the introduction, communication technology is basically an electronic communication. And these days, the effect of an electronic communications technology, the communication process is remarkable, and it made people connect with each other so easily. And it is the way where people now connect with each other by using technology such as telephones, social networks, radio, televisions, and so much more. And the technologies of communication became an important aspect of humans' life. And coming to next, and the main advantage of this communication using technology, it connects people much more easier, and it have been became more fun communicating with people. And updates about the world news, it made the world a more connected place, and it makes you communicate with the people that you love that lives abroad. And communication technology is important in many ways. It connects people in much easier way. It also became more fun communicating with other people. Communication technology updates that you about world news, and this made the world a more connected place. It also makes you communicate with the people that you love, lives abroad easily. And the next will be continued by my friend Vamshi Krishna. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Next slide, Sandeep. Next slide. History of communication skills. History of communication skills. Meeting someone in person was the only way to communicate before the communication technology exploded. When the people used to write letters and symbols to communicate in earlier days. Then typewriters, fax machines, and telephone answering machines all came in 18th century. Radios came later than 18th century. Now people using televisions, cellular phones, computers, and social networking apps to communicate. Next slide. Economical impacts. Today, business rely on computers, high-tech telephones, fax machines, and local area computer networks. These systems has really effect on our economy. While growing global communication technology, the global economy also grows. The things happen in New York can affect the business in Tokyo. Thousands of people, thousands of miles only in few hours can affect the business. Communication technology are also moving us from the product economic to service economy. Instead of building things in factory, more and more people are performing services. Thank you. Next will be continued by Manish.
Yeah, so the main key role here is a data security in the communication technology. So first we'll understand what is data security. Basically, data security is protecting the digital data or message from unauthorized users or third-party users. So there are different types of data security measures we can take. One among them is like encryption, encrypting the data. So what exactly data security does is it helps to reduce the risk of data loss or data theft by the third-party users. As I mentioned, so this data security can be done by various measures. So one of the most popular one is being used in this current area is encryption of the data. So the message what we send will be encrypted, and the receiver will be decrypting by using some keys provided by the user. So this is how we can protect the data from the third-party users, so that there can be no theft of data. So yeah, so this is a big challenge the developers has to take it as a responsibility to protect the data from the third-party users. Next slide, please. Hello, next slide, please. Oh, okay, yeah. So as in the past, there is we would be communicating very small ways, like a person to person or by letters or fax in this way. So now the technology has grown.
Carry on.
Disadvantage in this in this mode of communication is we can't communicate face to face here. Next slide, please. So as the technology grows, the communication models will be grown. There are many communication technologies will be coming up in future. So for now, the social media is taking the key role in the communication technology, and this can be improved better in the upcoming future. So as I mentioned, social media has a key role here. It has a creativity also. Despite of communication, we can be do various kind of things here, like sharing your things, everything. So this is how the communication technology is growing in the future. And from here, Abram will be continuing.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Abhinav. I will continue from here. Media has a major role in communication technology. The media makes life easier to many people in the world by updating you in the television or radio. When in present days, it is new media and communication technology. The so-called new media technology, often referred to as Web 2.0, encompass a wide variety of web-related communication technology, such as blogs, wikis, online social networking, virtual worlds, and other social media. In coming future, there is no doubt that robots are going to play a large role in all aspects of our life. Technology and the media are the interwoven, and neither can be separated from contemporary society in most core and semi-peripheral nations. Media is the term that refers to all print, digital, and electronic means of communication. From the time the printing press was created, technology has influenced how and where information is shared. Media can be a disadvantage for making false statements in some situations. It is just another way to communicate with our world. Next slide, please. How communication technology works. Communication technology works with satellites and radio towers by sending data from a person to another. The process of this can be done in seconds. How would you use a decoder in communication technology? Communication systems usually include several subsystems that help transmit information. The subsystems are made up of these elements: a source of an encoder, a transmitter, a receiver, a decoder, and a destination. The source is the sender, which could be person or a machine, which a message to send. The encoder changes the message so that it can be transmitted. When you write a note, type a computer keyboard, or talk into a telephone, you are encoding your message. Your message will be written on paper or sent as an electronic signal. For example, if you send a text to someone, the text will reach in just few minutes, few seconds. I think it is enough. Thank you. Next slide is continued by Pradeep Verma.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself is Pradeep Verma. So from here, I am going to continue the cultural impact. Many people believe the television has made us a less literate society that we are a generation or two ago. People who are literate are able to read and write well, but school tests have been declined. Could that be because we read less and watch the television more? And next slide. Communication through the technology. Yeah, we use the different modes of communications through the various technologies like cellular phones, social networks, televisions, radios, faxes, media, and internet. And next slide. Here comes the conclusion. Communication technology gets better and better every decade. Life is much easier with the communication technologies in our life when compared to the past generations. It made the world much smaller and also make the world connected. The question is, will it get improved in the future and invade our privacy more often? Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all, for seminar presentation.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Hindu. Today we, the members of team, and would like to give presentation on the topic 5 P's approach in oral presentation. Oral presentation, it's a very familiar word to each one of us. It comprises 2 words, oral, which means verbal, and presentation, which means speech. Oral presentation means delivering an address to a public audience. It is also called as public speaking or speech making. From childhood, we have been listening to many oral presentations. Do you think we have same impression on every presentation? Let's watch a video now and then continue our topic. Navakiran video, please.
The British imposed a lot of unpopular taxes on the American colonists and didn't let them elect representatives to the British government. In retaliation, the Americans started to boycott British goods. In 1773, Americans in Massachusetts dumped a shipload of British tea into Boston Harbor. This became known as the Boston Tea Party. As punishment, the British imposed laws known as the Intolerable Acts, including the Quartering Act, which made Americans let British soldiers live in their homes. Some of the American colonies created a Declaration of Rights and Grievances, which they sent to Britain, but the British just sent soldiers to the colonies to put down any rebellion. This led to the first battles of the Revolution at Lexington and Concord.
Yeah, so what is your impression on the presenter as well as his presentation? The presenter doesn't have a proper body language, no eye contact, no proper gesture or posture. Even the audience are not interested. One is yawning, one is drawing. It clearly shows that none of them is interested to listen to him. That video is a very clear example of a bad presentation. So then what are the requisites of a good oral presentation? A good oral presentation should have proper planning, and body language is also important, like the presenter should have good eye contact, facial expressions, good body posture and gesture, usage of visual aids like slideshows, and he must be able to illustrate his points very clearly, and it should be able to achieve the desired goals. Here on the screen, we can have a look at all the 5 P's like purpose, plan, prepare, present, and progress. Next slide. Purpose. The first and foremost thing is that one need to identify the purpose of oral presentation. Goal and the outcome that is to be expected from it is to be known, and it is to be set. So while setting the goals, it is important that to use a proper language like towards language, and it should not be away from language. So what are these two? What is towards language and what is away from language? Let us understand these two terms. Towards language includes words such as I can, I will, can do, solutions, etc. Whereas away from language includes words such as I can't, not possible, problems, etc. Towards language is always positive in nature, whereas away from language is negative in nature. Towards language promotes motivation and it helps in achieving the goals, whereas away from language is demotivating and it always detrains. Thank you. The next slide will be continued by Kirti.
Thank you, Hindu. Myself, Kirti. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm here to explain the second P in the 5 P's approach. Here, the second P implies the plan. See, a plan is a detailed proposal for doing something or to achieve an objective. Effective plan is a key step for successful oral presentation. Plan is a procedure to implement the ideas or steps with respect to time to achieve an objective. We always remember a great quote like, failing to plan is planning to fail. To plan effectively, use the open question model, as this model can aid your planning. In open questions model, we have to answer for the questions like how, what, when, where, who, why, and what is important. Here, the how is a type of question which is concerned with the way of manner in which something is to be done. And the second question, what, is a type of question asking for information, specifying something. Coming to the type of question, when, it deals with the concerned time. And coming to the where question, it is the question which deals with the place or the position. The question who is a question which deals with the respective person or people. And coming to the question why, it deals with the cause, reason, purpose of presentation. And the last one, what is important, it deals with the important topics in the presentation. And the next slide will be continued by Divya.
Okay, thank you, Kirti. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to speak about prepare, which is one of 5P's approach. Preparing is preparing and organizing your information and presentation elements. Most important is you must prepare how you will make your presentation. You can prepare is make something ready for use for consideration. Prepare has two strategies like verbiage and cue cards. Verbiage is speak about to speak about verbiage. It is a manner of expressing oneself in words. Some people find it useful to script the presentation, while others prefer to make cue cards, which has select words on it. Cue cards are note cards with words written on them that helps the speaker to say what they have to say. These are particularly useful to keep the speaker on track. While preparing for oral presentation, split your presentation into 3 parts. That is like beginning, middle, and end. At the beginning, 90% of first impressions are made on 90 seconds of meeting someone. You can do this in different ways. Like you may ask your questions of your audience. You may use humor to introduction of your topic. At the middle, use the power of three words, that is more satisfying, effective, and modern, memorable. You keep you and your audience on track. You may use the words like firstly, secondly, thirdly, or finally. At the end of your presentation, you can end your presentation with humor related to that is at the beginning of your presentation, and ask your audience if they have any questions, and share your contact details if necessary. And at the end, thank everyone for involving, listening, and interacting with everyone. Okay, thank you for giving me opportunity. Next slide is continued by Pawan. Thank you. Over to you, Pawan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah. Super.
This is Chidvilas Pawan. Today I am going to explain about present topic. This is the 4th topic after progress, plan, and prepare. Present. In this topic, we are going to explain about what we have present in the audience. In the audience, to introduce socially. Present means to introduce socially. While presenting, we have come across three qualities. Are align words, tone and body language, use sensory language, and use props and visual aids. First one, align words, tone and body language. Based on the research of the Harvard professor Albert Mehrabin, face-to-face communication when sharing your thoughts and feelings can be broken down into the words that we speak is 7%, tone that we use is 38%, body language that we use is 55%. You need to be aware that the tone and body language you use in the face-to-face communication and we are presenting. When words, tone, and body language are aligned, that are ensuring your message has more impact, thus contributing to the engagement to your audience. Use sensory languages. We all process information in different ways and record it in future. This is processed through your senses such as sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. And generally, everybody has the primary sense that used to establish an experience with their conscious and subconscious mind. The primary system may consist of VAK system, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic way. Visual means sound, sight, auditory means sound, and kinesthetic means touch and feelings. Of course, when you are presenting to a group of people, there will be a mix of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic preferences. Therefore, use of visual sensory language and presentation style that will optimize engagement with your audience. Use props and visual aids. Use of props and visual aids ensure that you are used to optimize any learning or message you want to share. It helps to impact the message to the audience, such as raising questions and questionnaires, asking doubts and clarifying your doubts, and show of hands, etc. Thank you, sir. Next topic to be continued by Navakiran.
Yes, time is out. Let us rejoin. The time is out. Within 1 minute, meeting will end, sir. We'll rejoin.
Okay.
While I start the topic, meeting will be done. Yes. As my friends discussed about how a good presentation has to be there, you can also shared a smart short video how a bad presentation could be there, and this is how a progress to be done. We just discussed about the plan, prepare, purpose, and the presentation part just before, and what are the gestures we have to do, and what are the things we have to make while giving a presentation. This is how a progress to be done. After completing our presentation, it is a great opportunity to improve ourselves. What are the things that we have done till now, and what is the feedback that we have to take? Let us go into a smart short video that continues with the beginning video. How a good presentation have to be there by using the progress part.
Today, I'd like to talk about the causes and effects of stress and how to cope with stress. Stress has many causes, including work or school, life events, changes, or unrealistic expectations of yourself. Some effects of stress include headaches, trouble sleeping, depression, or lack of concentration. I know how hard it can be to deal with stress. Last year, I started working after school to save for college. but I didn't have time to do homework and my grades went down. I had trouble sleeping. I only ate junk food and I stopped hanging out with my friends. Fortunately, I was able to talk with a school counselor to manage my stress. She suggested that I reduce my hours at my job, eat healthy foods, and get some exercise. So I literally started walking home from school and bringing my lunch. I also asked my teachers for extra help. Now, I feel better. It's important to recognize when you're stressed and to ask for help. Thank you.
Yes, we have just seen our video, how a good presentation should be there. We have also seen the same video and the same person in the beginning of our presentation, where he doesn't have a proper plan, he doesn't have a proper purpose, he doesn't have even a proper presentation. Now he uses the progress. What are the presentations that I have made in the previous? What are the changes I have to done? And what are the things that I have to improve myself? So that's the reason progress is always an important thing. That's nothing called as a feedback. There are three models always we use it to use for the progress thing is 3, 2, 1. 3 is always consider the three best things that you have presented in the presentation. The best two things that the worst two things, what are the mistakes that you have done in the presentation, and the last one thing, what we have to improve in the overall presentation. All these 3, 2, 1 strategy models will help us give the best presentation, and always taking feedback help us to view the best presentation the next time. This is how about the presentation, 5 principles of the presentation and 5 P's where we have to use each and every time for your presentation, which gives a good appearance. Why? Because just you have seen in a video how he has made attention from the audience, how the eye contact he have done with all these 5 P's. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity, sir.
Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Before we move on to next team, can we take a break?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes. Call you back after 1 hour.
Okay, sir.
Start the remaining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ranjan.
Akash, start.
Yeah, hi, my name is Akash.
Yeah, continue.
Manasa, just please zoom. Next slide. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. My name is Akash, and we are doing a PPT on job research. So job research is a critical part of the job search process. It can help you identify the companies that may be hiring you in the related field. Let me share the meaning of the job research. The meaning of job research is job hunting, job seeking, or job searching is a act of looking for employment due to employment, underemployment, discontent with the current position. So some of the common methods of the job hunting are finding a job through a friend or an extended business network, personal network, or social media, using an employment website, job listing search engine, going to a job fair. So these are some of the jobs which you can get through this medium. So visiting an organization to find out whether is recruiting staff or will be doing on so in the near future. So Manasa, next slide. Next slide.
Your topic is over. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So good afternoon, sir. And my topic is job description or job information. A job description is usually developed by conducting a job analysis, which includes examining the tasks and sequences of tasks necessary to perform the job. And a job description is a document that describes the essential job requirements, job duties, job responsibilities of a particular position. The main purpose of job description is to collect job-related data in order to advertise for a particular job. And it helps to attracting, targeting, recruiting, and selecting the right candidate for the right person, right job in the organization. And the job description helps in attracting, targeting, recruiting, and selecting the right candidate for the right job. It is done to determine what needs to be developed in a particular job. It helps to recruitment and selection procedure, and also training and development programs. And the job description clarifies who will report to whom, the job evaluation in order to decide about rate of remuneration for a specific job. The next continue will by Sai Krishna. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, all of you. My topic is reading a job advertisement. Mansa, slide. Reading a job advertisement may seem like a fairly simple and obviously task, but the language of adverts can in fact be rather baffling, especially for academic job careers just starting out on their career. This article is intended to give a brief guide on interpreting what adverts actually say and targeting your application accordingly. The first one is identify the advertiser, note the company, review the job title, scan for job duties, determine what they are looking for, pay attention to special instructions, and look for pay and benefits information. Thank you, sir. And next will be continued by Sagar.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, my dear friends. I am Vijay Sagar. I am here to discuss about the application and flow of letters. A letter of application, also known as a cover letter, it is a job application document sent with your resume to provide additional information about the candidate skills and experience. The flow of letters are email written inadequate about the status of an application or a decision of an interview operator. The flow of letters generally seeks information and strives to establish phone communication with the employees. A letter of application, also known as a cover letter, is a job application document sent with your resume to provide additional information about your skill and experience. The letter of application intended to provide the detailed information or why are you are a qualified candidate or the qualified candidate to the job application. Effective application letters explain the reasons for your interest in the specific organization and identify your most relevant skill or experience. Thanks for the opportunity, sir. And over to Sneha.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Sneha. Now I'm going to explain about job application. While making a job application, a candidate must be positive and confident, and he should talk about key credentials to fulfill job requirements. He must show interest in working for the organization, and he should also prove that one's capabilities and experience fulfill the key requirements of the organization. And he should try to complement the organization's reputation. The candidate must be straightforward, but he should also be polite. And he should avoid negative remarks about himself, others, and even about the company. The first paragraph of the job application should include information on why he was writing, and he should mention the job. And he should also mention that where he found the job. The candidate must conclude by briefing saying that why he is an ideal candidate for the job. The middle paragraph of the job application is sent. You should interpret about the resume, but it should not be same as like the resume. And the final paragraph of the job application should include thanking the employer for considering him for the position. And the job application should be concluded by the complementary clause, which includes sincerely, signature if it is a hard copy job application, and a typed signature if it is a soft copy one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, right.
Myself Shravanti, and our topic is meeting and types of meeting. Our teammates are B. Varun Raj, G. Praveen, K. Shrita, B. Preeti. Next slide. My topic, meeting. A meeting is when two or more people come together to discuss one or more topics, often in formal or business settings. But meetings also occur in variety of other environments. Meetings can be used as a form of group decision making. Meetings may occur face-to-face or virtually, as mediated by communication technologies such as telephone conference call, Skype conference call, or video conference call. A meeting is gathering of two or more people that has been converted for the purpose of achieving common goal through the verbal interaction such as sharing information. Next slide. On the basis of the purpose, meetings are classified into 5 types. They are problem solving, decision making, feed forward, feedback meeting, and the combination meeting. Next is continued by my teammate B. Varun Raj.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, and I'm here to explain about the 2 types of meetings. Like first one is problem solver meeting, and the second one is decision making meeting. Coming to first one, problem solving meeting, and teams use problem solving meeting to analyze the situation, and it causes assesses like direction to take, then create an action plan to resolve the problem. And group problem solving is the process of bringing together stakeholders who thought their analytical decision making abilities can influence the outcome of the problem. The use of groups in which solving is encouraged as a group tend to evaluate diverse solution and action plans. And this analyze the causes of potential solution to specific problems. And meeting participates when aim to alert a situation or attack an organizational problem, and concern take on a problem solving meeting. And coming to the next one, decision making meeting. And position making meeting is used by teams when they need to formally agree on a significant decision and secure commitment to act on the decision. And 7 tips on running highly effective decision making meeting are first thing, set the context in the invitation. Every meeting should have a stated goal, and empower everyone to participate, and exercise your leadership, and encourage note taking, prepare ahead of time, make a decision in the meeting. And for finally, we have points like determine a course of action to take with regard to an important project, service, or task. And these are conducted to generate or make a final unanimous decision about an issue. And next 3 types of meeting are concluded by our friend Ravi.
Good afternoon, sir. Forward meeting. When there is a need to make status reports and present new information, participants gather for a feed forward meeting. It is otherwise known as reporting and presenting. Generally, feed forward meeting focus on suggestions for the future rather than on a critical assessment of the past. Feedback meeting. These are conducted when the purpose is to individual provide reactions and feedback to one several participants on a recipient purpose. Combination meeting. The last type of meeting according to objective is called combination. There is 2 or more meetings categories are applied in a single meeting session. It's called combination meeting. Thank you. Next, continue with Preeti.
Formal meeting. Formal meeting is a pre-arranged meeting
between two or more people, which takes place for the purpose of achieving a common stated objective. Formal meeting takes place at the designated date, time, and location following a proper meeting agenda. Everything is recorded in meeting minutes to recount the discussions, votes, and action items. These meetings allow proper discussions to be taken about issue within the company. Formal meeting includes meeting of shareholders, meeting of creditors and debenture holder, meeting of directors. Informal meeting.
Nihita, break your video on.
Informal meetings are not pre-planned and regulated like formal meetings, and lack of many defined features for the formal business meeting, such as minutes, a chairperson, and a set of agenda of problem solving. Brainstorming, training, team building are the examples for informal meeting. Thank you, sir.
Next, team are morning only to have given their seminar. Go to team S. Navanita, Nikita, Navya, and Shakusta, Kalyan. Nobody is available for team S. Team S.
Kalyani. Team S, sir.
Yeah, team S. Navanita.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Chagupta with my team members, and we are here to give a presentation on public relation. Next slide. Definition. Public relation is a strategical approach toward the creation of goodwill and brand. Brands emerge through developing a critical relationship between the organization and the target audience. Every organization excels the social, legal, and political environment where this has to interact with different and individual. Next slide. Public relation, building good relation with the company in a public favorable publicity, building up a good corporate image and handing off or reading of unfavorable stories and even public. They are two internal and external. The staff and their family, management, CEO, manager, such honor, external consumer NGO, government, bank, mass media, etc. Next will be continued by Kalyani.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all. Importance of public relations. It indicates that is essentially a task promoting rapport and goodwill between a person and our institution. It is a science and art of maintaining the relationship between the public and an organization. The organization can be a business organization or a non-profit organization, and an institution or individual who requires the exposure and management of their image in the eyes of the public. There are 7 types of public relations. Corporate positioning. It aims to build overall public acceptance of the corporation and its products. And the second one is reputation management. It includes removing negative online articles about your brand. And the next one is employee communication. It is defined as a sharing of information and ideas between the management of organization and employees and vice versa. And the next one is community relations. It is a function that evaluates public attitudes and shapes the policies of the organization. Media relations. It involves working with media for the purpose of informing the public of an organization's mission. And the next one is crisis communication. It is a specialty of public relations that designed to protect and defend the company. And the next one is nature of public relations. It builds relations with a multitude of audience depending on your business focus. Understanding the target audience is the most important part of any successful relation strategy. Extent of PR function, level of PR function, target public, maintaining goodwill, evaluation of work, general areas of objectives, communication skills. And the next slide will be continued by Navanita.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Navanita. I'm going to explain the functions of public relations. Here we have some functions. They are product publicity, promote goodwills, press relations, and distance problems and counseling. Coming to the product publicity, the company organizes brands and product promotions through sponsorships to gather customers' attention and promotes goodwill. In the long term, public relations practice paves the way for creating substantial goods for the company. Then press relations. Public relations may occur in the form of a company press release, news conference, social media posting, interviews with journals. And coming to the distance problems, coming to the distance problem, problems a word problem that involves the distance an object will travel a certain average rate for a given period of time. Then come counselings. At the time of product failure or poor performance, the public relations department provide a suggestions and advice to the management. Coming to the types, here we have 5 types. Media relations, community relations, customer relations, internal relations, and investor relations. Media relations. The department collects information from the press or media source while maintaining cordial relations with them. The data is used by the company to plan its marketing strategies. And community. Society plays a crucial role in the deciding the company is as well as the product's future. Customer interacting with the value of customers and potential customers is the necessary to know their feedback, suggestion, interest, and priorities. The next slide continued by the Navya.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I am going to explain about objectives of public relations, introducing new product to manufacturers, introducing new product to consumers, influencing government legislation, enhancing image of a firm, enhancing image of a city, region, or a country, calling attention to a firm involvement with the community. Next slide will be continued by Shagufta.
Thus, maintaining and effective public relations enable a frame to building a strong brand image, adding value, etc. This helps to increasing the credibility of company brand by creating short-term and long-term generation. Thank you, sir.
Next team T. Surendranath Reddy, P. Krishna, Ranjit Kumar, Mahesh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Surendranath.
Good afternoon, sir. We have a topic of business. Hello.
Yeah, carry on.
We have a topic of business messages by a team of me and Ranjit, Sri Krishna and Mahesh. First of all, the business messages, individually, the business messages are the main purpose of messages is three types. That is information, ridicule, or goodwill. Information, to give away information to the person, to interact the related messages, to go information for the person. That's it. Informative messages. Pursue when occur the person attempts to convince the individual group to take a certain action. It is called persuasive messages. And third is goodwill. Goodwill messages are used in a workplace to show the sentence of kindness or friendshipness is known as goodness. What is business message? Business message is a set of channel over which companies and consumers can communicate with each other. These most common messages channels is SMS or text message. We have all have experience with shipping notifications and marketing offers, promotions, campaigns, and appointment reminds, etc. The main present the days are the contraction of business messages are from the mails. And these process of business messages are these steps: identification the process, analyzing the audience, choosing the ideas, collecting the data, and organizing the messages. It continued by the Ranjit.
Hello, good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon. I'd like to explain the process of business messages. The steps for planning effective good writing. The process of identifying purpose, analyze the audience, choose the ideas, collect the data, and organize the messages. In the identify the purpose, the most important step of writing an effective business message is to determine your purpose. Ask you ask yourself, why are you writing? Your purpose may be to inform someone, to announce some things, etc. And analyze your audience. The second most important step in determine who is your receiver is ask yourself to whom you are writing. Until and unless you don't know who is your audience, it is difficult and you will not able to convey your messages. And as you need it, you must determine before writing whether the age, gender, race, language, nation, education, options, views, religion, and profession, etc. Next slide. Keeping in view the purpose of audience in mind and draft your ideas according to them. Select the ideas you should use for convincing the receiver. Judge the importance of all ideas and select the one that should be used in writing. Next, the collect your data. Collection of data is supposed to your ideas. You must have enough data that you can represent it to influence the reader. You must have some figures, illustrations, background information, product and knowledge. Next, and finally, organize your messages. Before you start writing, you must outline the major content that should be used in the messages. The best organization method you should first. In the organization letter, the content may be introduction, body, and conclusion. So the next will be given by Mr. Sri Krishna. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. The appearance and design of business messages. The electronic revolution is changing the way we communicate, and these changes include facts, conventions of written communication. In the more traditional forms of written communication, communication your receiver will from an impressive of your based on the overall appearance and format of the message. The message, the medium used most after the from written message to person outside your organization is business letters, elements of appearance that help provides formatable reactions or appearance certainty and correct part and layouts. There are two parts of letters: standard parts of the letter, optional part of the letter. Continued by the Mahesh.
Hi sir, this is Mahesh.
Yeah.
Standard parts of the letter.